In this footage, the YouTube channel Lost in Wonder documents a hike along a section of the Bruce Trail in November 2025, with plans to camp at the ruins of a site known as the Hermitage. She arrived shortly before nightfall and pitched her tent, using one of the remaining stone walls as a shield against the wind.
I just got dropped off and I'm hiking at the Bruce Trail, which is a long trail here in Ontario that goes from Niagara Falls all the way to the Bruce Peninsula on Georgian Bay. And this is just a very, very small section of it. And it goes through a ruin that is believed to be haunted. And I was reading about the story of William Black. According to all trails, the ruins should be just right over there. It is starting to get dark, so I really want to get there before it's completely dark.
Some say his spirits never left, that he walks these woods at night, watching, waiting. Or maybe it's just the sorrow that stayed behind, grief etched into stone, a heartbreak that never found its ending.
I have decided that this is going to be the spot. This is where I'm going to be setting up the tent. I want to use this structure here as a little bit of a wind barrier. Yeah. I don't know if I should stay away from any structure. Because I don't know, you know how like objects like hold on to energy and I don't know, stuff. But it is very windy and I feel that here I'm going to be a little bit more protected. Okay. This is where we're going to spend the night.
As she set up camp, she noticed lights moving through the forest on several occasions. One of them appeared to be heading directly toward her.
Okay, I'm just in my tent now. When I was setting up, a couple of times I saw lights in the woods. And one time it looked like it was coming right at me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just got busted. I don't know if it's hikers or if it is the park authorities doing rounds. Either way, they didn't come here to the ruins. They just walked through the path. But you know how it is at night. The light just really goes far. It is definitely getting cold. There is a chill in the air, not just temperature, if you know what I mean.
The wind howled without pause, and in the darkness every noise felt unnaturally loud. Later that night she heard footsteps, not far off on the trail, but closer than before, unsettlingly close to her tent.
I don't know if those are leaves falling or if it's starting to rain. It is definitely a little bit creepy. Like, I'm not scared, but I'm definitely alert. It is 10 p.m. I think it's about time I try to get some sleep. Keep hearing noises outside of the tent. And it's probably just the rustling of the leaves or a raccoon, but I can't stop thinking about the story of William Black and getting his heart broken and taking his own life. What was that?
The wind doesn't stop. It is one cold, windy autumn night. Earlier on, I heard some people walking through the path, through the trail, with like flashlights. I don't think they saw me. I turned all the lights off. But I don't know, I have a feeling that more people may come by. It's pretty close to Halloween, and this is a pretty famous haunted ruin, so I think a lot of people will come here at night to see if they get to see the ghost of William Black. What the was that? I just heard footsteps. But this time they sounded much closer, not farther in the path. Okay, I'm gonna try to go back to sleep. Good morning. There's ice on the tent. The fabric is kind of frozen. Okay, I am all packed. She is ready. Leave no trace. And yeah, the ruins don't look as scary during the day, for sure.
She endured the cold, blustery night and broke camp at sunrise. Whether it was a ghost or her imagination playing tricks in the darkness, the place carried an unsettling weight, as if it clung to the past, lingering in the echo of footsteps that belonged to no living being. In January 2025, a solo backpacker from the YouTube channel, Nomad Unknown, embarked on her first trip of the year, heading alone into one of Arizona's most infamous wilderness regions. Her channel, usually known for calm trail visuals and thoughtful commentary, had never documented anything remotely like what was about to unfold. What began as a quiet, carefully planned hike through sun-baked canyons and dried-up riverbeds soon took a deeply unsettling turn.
Water rolling down my face. It's not tears, it's sweat. I already had to stop and layer down and lather up on the sunscreen. I'm trying to wear like sun shirts and things like that to protect my skin, but it's just too hot for that. I can't breathe. And I'm gonna there's the parking lot down there. Just did a nice hearty climb to start with on the Bluff Spring Trail. And looks like I've crested this ridge. And let's find out. Unfortunately, the map I have is not in tremendous detail. It was the smallest scale map I could find at 1:70, but actually I think it's 1:60. I had to search pretty hard for that one. And on this route that I'm doing also does not exist as a ready-made route or already uploaded route on all trails. So I am just following my mapped route.
The desert was unnervingly silent. The only noise came from her boots crunching against loose gravel and the faint wind brushing through dry, brittle scrub. As she moved farther along the trail and deeper into the canyon, something unusual drew her attention.
What is this? Like bloody tracks of some sort. All the way. Well, we should definitely follow them. Of course, they're leading in the other direction. Is there a crime scene up here? Weird. I don't see an origin. Oh, here's more. Okay. Through here. Let's see. Here they continue. Let's follow. That's a long way. Okay. It's up there. Actually, there are still some faint signs of blood along the trail here. Nothing here. Well, there's some on a rock right there where my head shadow is. There we go.
A dark smear stretched across one rock, then another. Faint paw prints branched off the trail, fading into the surrounding scrub. She stopped and crouched down to study them. Her voice stayed steady as she reasoned it was probably a predator, perhaps a mountain lion or a coyote, dragging its kill through the area. Even so, something about the scene stayed with her. Later that afternoon, she set up her tent near a spring, a rare water source in the otherwise parched landscape. As the sun sank toward the horizon, the atmosphere subtly changed.
Not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little nervous about this camp. Yeah, I just feel a little uneasy about it. Maybe it's just been such a long time since I've camped out in a tent in a place that I'm not familiar with, that the feeling is coming from that, but also part of my logical mind just reasons that, I'm here because of the proximity to water, and the wild animals that live in this area have the same interest. And when I first got here, I heard some rustling of what I'll say is a mammal up the hill just away. And yeah, it makes me nervous. I mean, this is definitely a established campsite for humans, but also just in the tree right above my tent is bird feathers. And looks like something happened to the bird. And I didn't discover that until after I just finished setting up the tent. But whether I'm right here or over there, I don't know that it makes much of a difference. And there's also an odor. I don't know if somebody just didn't handle their business properly and did it too close to camp, or I don't know if I'm smelling an animal or something, but I'm a little bit disturbed. But this is where I'm camping for tonight, so time to suck it up, buttercup, Hey! Get out of here. Get out of here. Okay, whatever that is, it is not intimidated by me, and I can't see anything, but I can hear it, and hopefully you can hear it too, to know I'm not crazy. I got 1 liter of water. I'm getting out of here. I'm not staying here tonight. Are you freaking kidding me? It's not even dark yet. Right, I'm out of here. Yeah. I'm not trying to be dramatic, I swear. Like, I heard some stuff when I first got there, and I figured I had scared it away. And even though it smelled weird and I was feeling nervous, I was like, mind over matter. It's fine. You're fine. Just tell yourself you're fine. I got about 1 liter of water out of that spring. I don't think I'm being stalked. I actually don't even think it was a big... Okay, I'm still paranoid. Actually, I don't even think it was a big cat. No, I'm not paranoid. That's fresh scat.
The air felt heavier, almost charged. A sharp, metallic smell lingered close to the ground. When she glanced upward, she noticed scattered feathers caught in the branches above her campsite. Then she heard it. At first, only a faint rustling in the brush. It didn't fade away. It didn't move off. It circled. Eventually, instinct took control. She didn't wait for darkness to fall. She packed up, broke camp without a sound, and left, never once turning back. Some viewers believe she unknowingly set up camp near a fresh kill, and that the mountain lion responsible had returned. Others remain unconvinced. They point to the feathers, the smell, the unnatural silence, and something harder to explain. Something older, something unfamiliar. In the Superstition Mountains, not everything that hunts leaves tracks behind, and many still wonder what might have happened if she had stayed just 1 more hour. In February 2024, YouTuber Love Sundays parked his van along a secluded road, planning a quiet night in the woods. He prepared a slow cooker filled with lamb stew and took a walk through the forest while it cooked, enjoying the daylight before settling in for the evening.
Welcome to the woods. I mean, I am parked on the side of a road. I have parked across from a bit of a clearing. After last week's video where I had a little bit of aggro, I decided this week I'm just going to come out in the middle of nowhere so that I can have a little bit of downtime. And looking at it, it looks fine at the moment, but as soon as the sun starts to go down, I think it might get a little bit creepy around here. So I've got a bit of a plan for today. I'm going to make the easiest meal ever, which is my very own lamb stew. But I have bought this casserole mix and some already diced lamb, so it's going to be really easy. And I'm going to chuck it all in the slow cooker, so then while this is cooking over the next couple of hours, I can... So I kind of feel like it would be rude not to go for a little wander in the woods while we're here. Get back to nature. How am I going to overcome this? Do some climbing. I mean, it's just padlocked. There's no signs that say keep out, so I'm going in. Easy enough. not going to lie, there is something very nice about a walk in the woods.
The area was remote. Only a single car had passed since he arrived. After dinner, he ventured into the woods at night with a lantern, but the darkness made the walk feel unexpectedly unsettling.
I've drawn the front curtains because, you know, if there are any cars that go past, I mean, this road is pretty quiet. Since I've been here, I've only seen one car go past, so it's quite quiet, but I've drawn the front curtains. I'm going to leave these open for the time being, just enjoy the view. I think we should probably check on the stew. It's been on for about an hour, so getting there. Well, whilst I wait for that food to slowly cook away, I think I'd be a bit of a wuss if I don't actually go for a wander in the woods when the sun's down. Might leave the diesel heater on really low. It's on the lowest setting at the moment anyway, just so it's nice and warm in the van when we get back. Alright, I'm going to try and not look at you completely because that light I've got shining in my face is very bright. Okay. I am in the woods. There's a lot of like weird nature noises. Oh, I'll tell you what I did bring actually. I've got a little lantern. Let's see if this is any better. Not a huge amount better. I'm not gonna lie, this is a little bit freaky. And you'd think the lights would make it better, but it doesn't. It just, what was that? Sorry, I got freaked out then. It just makes all eyes be on you. So if there's anything in here, there's only gonna be animals and things, but you just don't know, do you? Angry badger or something, but it just might jump out on me. It's nearly 9 o'clock now. I think I'm just gonna go to bed. Ugh, cozy. All being well, I'll see you in the morning. Good night. A car's just pulled up and it sounds like they're walking around the van. So I was just woken up because I heard a car pull up and it was at the front of the van. So I got up, turned my phone on and filmed, and as soon as I drew the curtains back, they drove off. They got to the end of the road, turned around and then came back and parked behind the van. I don't even know, like, what they just think that there's just some random van parked here that they might be able to break into, or I don't know, but it's a little bit freaky. It makes me kind of like, I'm not moving, but I don't want somebody breaking in thinking there's no one in here. because that'll be a right pain. Hopefully I'll get a good night's sleep.
Late that night, a car pulled up nearby, immediately putting him on edge. Were they searching for an unattended van to break into? Or something else entirely? He stayed where he was, silently hoping they would leave him alone for the remainder of the night.
What a miserable day. I slept surprisingly well, considering after that car pulled up outside and then drove off, I didn't hear anything else for the rest of the night. So from then I actually slept all right. And see how miserable the weather is. My door's stuck. What the actual... See that? I don't even think I can shut the door now. So when I said I got left alone last night, it doesn't look like I did get left alone, does it? I didn't even hear anyone out on the side door. Right, I've got to work out how to do this. I don't think I've got any pliers. Tell you what, it's a good job I haven't got a bulkhead. There we go. Oh, it's miserable out here. So there's obviously just people wanting to f*** about and just be funny, I guess, but how dangerous is that, locking someone in their van? Let me check the back door. Well, there's nothing on this one because they wouldn't have been able to tie it to anything, would they? There's no way they could have done that door anyway. Oh, God. Right, let me put the camera down. Now this is interesting, I didn't actually notice this at the time, but if you look at that fuel cap there, there's fingerprints. So now I'm wondering, was their intention to steal my diesel? And if so, did they cable tie the doors so that they could make a quick getaway if they got rumbled? But they're obviously not very intelligent thieves, because anyone would know on these transit vans, you have to open the passenger door to allow you to actually open the flap to get to the diesel. They're not easy to cut, are they? Try not to scratch my paint. Well, that's the first time that's happened. What a waste of cable ties. Don't really know how I feel about that. Imagine if I still had the bulkhead. I mean, I could have gone out the back way, so scrap that, it doesn't matter. That's pretty dangerous, right? They don't know that I've got access to the back door. They don't know that I haven't got a bulkhead in the van. I just don't understand why someone would do that.
The next morning, he realized why his van door hadn't opened. What began as a peaceful night in the woods had become a stark reminder that sometimes the real danger comes from other people. On Halloween night in 2022, Rick from the channel Rick and his van set out to explore the allegedly haunted woods near his home, planning to spend the night camping in a remote clearing known for paranormal activity. What began as a thrilling quest to locate an abandoned church quickly escalated into a night of genuine terror when someone started stalking him in the shadows. Rick arrived at the clearing just before sunset, and as darkness descended, he ventured into the forest armed only with a flashlight and his camera, determined to find the elusive tin church rumored to lie deep within the woods.
Right, I don't know how well this is going to come out on camera. I am in the woods now. See where we're going. This isn't coming out very well. No idea where on earth I'm going. I'm just going to follow the, well, pathway. I wish there was a path. Let's just go this way. Let's see where we're going. Right. I mean, this is ridiculous. I've got no idea where I'm going. Oh, there's a gate. I'll go through here. Oh, hello. What's that? What is that in the woods there? Look, what's that? Oh, I think I found the church. That was easy. Ah, that's not a gate. That is a fence. Ah, there's the church. You look like a church.
The Upper Itching Benefit Church stood completely alone, encircled by dense woods in every direction. A small graveyard dotted with scattered chairs filled the clearing around it, and a lone shovel rested against one of the graves. A posted notice indicated that services were still held there, with the next scheduled for December 10th. After exploring the church, Rick began heading back toward his van. But as he moved through the darkness, something near the fence, where he had left his camera gimbal, suddenly caught his attention.
The hell is that? Hello? Hello? Hell's... Hang on. Did you see that? Or was that just me? There's my gimbal. I left my gimbal there. Swear... This me. Oh, there was someone standing there. There was someone standing right here. I swear to God there was someone standing right here by my gimbal. Right. Right, that's freaked me out a little bit, so I'm just gonna go... Shut up. Right, I'm not joking you, that's just slammed itself shut. Right, I'm locking that up and getting out of it. I can't lock it, I can't lock it. I'm locking that. There's my gimbal.
Feeling unnerved, Rick hurriedly collected his gear and made his way back to the van.
Oh, I'm dropping everything. Oh, drop my phone. I'm getting out of here. I did not like that noise. Right, where am I going? I can't even see where I'm going. Right, that was weird. I don't even know which way I come now. I'm gonna go this way. I'll follow this way. Would help if my bloody torch didn't keep flickering.
By 11 p.m., Rick was safely back in his van, the door securely locked. He reviewed the footage he had captured in the woods, and what he saw confirmed his worst fears. Someone had indeed been near his gimbal, the figure clearly visible on camera. Trying to shake off the earlier fright, Rick settled in for the night, hoping for some rest. But at 1:00 a.m., he was abruptly awakened by the unmistakable sound of someone fiddling with his van's door handles.
What is it? 1 o'clock in the morning. And I swear blind, I just got woken up by someone trying the van door handles. Right, there was a knock. There was definitely a knock. Someone was trying the van door handles as well. I'm going to turn the lights out. Someone was trying the van door handles. I heard a car pull up. There's definitely a car pulled up outside. I'm gonna have a look. Well, that was weird. I opened the van doors and then within a minute there was a car reversing up and it's just driven off. So it's all quiet out there now, so I'm just going to try and get myself back to sleep. I don't know who they were, but alright. We're all locked up, so we're safe. They can't get in, hence why they were knocking. So I'm going to roll over and I'm going to try and get back to sleep because it's 1:45 now, so try again. Alright. Right, it's happening again. I can't believe this. Let me turn the lights on. I've heard that car come back at its spot. 2:45 now. That van's come back, well, that car's come back. That 4x4 vehicle. I can't hear anyone. I can't hear anyone talking outside. There we go, there we go. Right. Literally haven't slept. This. I am going home. They've driven off again. I didn't even look out. I just peered through my curtains that I've got up. Through the curtains there, I can see outside, and it's driven off again. Now, I don't know if this is anywhere I shouldn't be parked, but I'm going. I'm not staying here anymore. I sat here quietly for half an hour. I heard them go. Oh, what a waste of a video.
Rick made a decision. Exhausted and originally planning to stay the entire night, he refused to risk another encounter with his mysterious stalker. Climbing into the driver's seat, he left the common and headed home in the early morning hours. It was the right choice. Had he stayed, there was no telling what might have happened if the stalker returned a third time. The footage from the woods clearly showed a figure near the church. The knocking on the van doors was real. The repeated presence of the vehicle was real. This wasn't paranormal activity or a Halloween trick of the mind. Someone had been stalking Rick that night in the woods, and he had narrowly avoided what could have turned into a far more dangerous situation. Josh, an adventurous YouTuber known for his fun camping experiences with his wife, on the channel Camping with Josh, was about to face a trip unlike any other. It was September 5th, 2024, and he was hiking through a rainy, fog-shrouded stretch of England's oldest forests, searching for the perfect campsite. Excited for the night ahead, he had no idea that this adventure might become his eeriest yet. Josh eventually found a spot to settle for the night, but an eerie feeling washed over him, leaving him uneasy. Shaking it off, he continued setting up his shelter and gathering wood for the campfire. As Josh prepared his firewood and night settled in, strange noises began to stir in the nearby bushes. Both curious and cautious, he decided to investigate, wanting to ensure the area was safe.
I'm just literally sat over there trimming the wood down, cutting it down how I like it. And I can just hear some mad movement going on in those bushes over there. I can't tell if it's like the rainfall just making quite a commotion, or there's maybe rabbits or deers maybe walking through, or any dog walkers or whatever, I don't know. Bit spooky.
Finding no sign of danger, Josh convinced himself it had been his imagination and returned to his fire. But the night's mysteries were far from over.
I'm finding it really difficult. Do you know what I mean? You heard that. And it's really quiet. There should be birds singing. There was birds singing, and I've just noticed they've just stopped singing.
Heavy footsteps echoed through the darkness, closer this time than before. Feeling increasingly unsafe, Josh decided to investigate the area once more.
I heard some really heavy movements in the bushes, and I'm pretty sure I saw something in the bushes as well. As I was standing still, there was this movement there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to leave my tarp here in the woods. My bag is already packed. I'm just going to grab what I can grab and come back here in the morning, and maybe just do a bit more talking with you there. So I think it's important to be real with you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna pack up. I guess I could take this tarp away, but I just don't really want to.
Still uncertain whether the sounds were merely rain or something more sinister, Josh's unease continued to grow, especially when the birds abruptly fell silent. He tried to dismiss the feeling, convincing himself it was nothing, and pressed on with his tasks. Despite his efforts to stay calm, the strange noises persisted, and he caught fleeting glimpses of movement in the bushes. As the last light faded and shadows grew deeper, fear began to outweigh curiosity. Realizing it was neither safe nor comfortable to stay, Josh made the decision to abandon his shelter before the woods were swallowed entirely by darkness.
I apologise, it's not really the vibe I go by. I'm all about having fun, relaxing, and being peaceful cooking good food and good vibes.
As he neared finishing his packing, the strange sounds persisted. Josh called out, hoping it was just another hiker or something that would respond. But the silence that followed left him no doubt. He needed to leave immediately. Josh managed to escape the woods unscathed, yet an unsettling feeling clung to him. As he made his way back to safety, he was left with more questions than answers. This is Dan, the popular YouTuber behind the channel Cursed Urban. For nearly 5 years, he has documented his outdoor adventures, from peaceful camping trips to spine-chilling explorations of the unknown. Fearless and always eager for the next challenge, Dan has earned a reputation for pushing the boundaries of adventure. But on this particular journey, he would face a situation unlike anything he had ever experienced. A real-life nightmare he would never forget.
We're at what is called the Forest of Sorrow. Yes, quite a, what's the word I'm looking for? A sinister name. Very sinister name, but yeah, that's where we're at.
It all began on the evening of November 18th, 2024. A crisp, biting night. The cold didn't deter Dan from embarking on his latest adventure. His destination, the ominously named Forest of Sorrow, a place steeped in mystery and notorious for its eerie, unsettling atmosphere. Locals whispered of strange rituals, ghostly presences, and people who had entered the forest never to return. It wasn't a place most would dare visit, especially alone at night, but that was exactly Dan's plan. Upon arrival, he parked his car, set up his tent, and decided to take a brief evening walk, intent on capturing the forest's haunting beauty on camera.
All right, back onto the trail. So, man, it's getting dark. I've had to open up my aperture all the way now. I'm about to have to start bumping up the ISO on the camera. And I am getting hungry.
After an hour of walking, darkness began to settle over the forest. Thinking of a warm meal by the campfire, Dan started heading back to his campsite, unaware of the nightmare that lay ahead. Once back, he built a fire and roasted marshmallows, savoring the calm, peaceful evening. But the serenity was short-lived.
You gotta be kidding me. Dude, I just heard a scream.
Suddenly, a piercing scream tore through the stillness of the lake. Startled, Dan froze, straining to hear any clue of its source.
Dude, that was that scream again. Who's speaking? That was that scream again.
Another scream shattered the silence, a chilling confirmation that he wasn't alone. Unease prickled at him, but curiosity won out. Hoping for answers, Dan opened his Spirit Talker app, attempting to communicate with whatever might be lurking in the forest. But just as he began, the woods fell eerily silent once more.
What I'm going to do is I am going to put out this fire to the best of my ability. And probably take a quick...
Time passed, and feeling restless, Dan decided to take one last walk along a nearby trail before turning in for the night.
Yo! What was that? What the... Dude, that sounded powerful. That sounded like something big is...
He made his way down the path. A loud snapping sound echoed from somewhere ahead, instantly putting him on edge. He tried to dismiss it and kept walking, but then it happened again.
Oh, what the
Another loud snap rang out. Whatever was making that noise had to be large or strong. The realization sent a shiver down his spine, and a deep, creeping sense of unease began to settle over him.
Something just seems off tonight. Or right now. And I don't know. Sorry guys, I know I'm rambling and just like kind of carrying on right now, but it's just, this is like just raw. This is like how I'm feeling right now. Like, I don't know, maybe I should go back. Go back to the safety of my campsite.
After only 10 minutes of walking, Dan decided to head back to his campsite, a gnawing sense that something was wrong tugging at him. His instincts were alarmingly accurate.
I just saw a light. I saw a light. Dude.
As he approached his campsite, a flashlight beam, likely from another person, caught his attention. At first, it didn't seem threatening, but then Dan realized the light was coming from his own campsite. Panic surged through him. Quickening his pace, he hurried back, desperate to reach his gear before whoever it was could act.
I just saw a light right over here. I think I got it on film. Wait. I didn't have this chair over here. This chair is closer to my tent. And dude, my tent is open. What the No, dude, my tent was not. No, my tent was not open when I left here. That chair was over by the tent, and the tent was not open.
Someone was prowling the area, and it was obvious their intentions weren't good. Thankfully, Dan had all his valuables with him, but the thought of a stranger moving through the woods with sinister motives left him deeply unsettled. With that chilling realization weighing on him, Dan struggled to steady his nerves.
Were they looking for that? Why would somebody be here? And why would somebody just take off if they were here? There was somebody just by my camp, looking around with a light, right by where this boot is, and somebody opened my tent.
Dan debated whether he should pack up and leave or try to stay the night. About half an hour later, he checked in with his viewers, explaining that he hadn't seen or heard anything unusual since the earlier incident. Feeling somewhat reassured, he chose to stay, hoping for a quiet, peaceful night. But tranquility was far from what awaited him. Just as he was beginning to drift off, a loud, jarring, and unexplainable sound abruptly jolted him awake. He heard footsteps, slow, deliberate, crunching over the dry leaves, moving straight toward his campsite. Shocked and on high alert, Dan's mind raced. Could it be the same person who had been near his tent earlier? The footsteps halted right beside his tent. His heart pounding, Dan quickly switched off his light. And then, it happened.
There's somebody outside. There's somebody outside. There's somebody outside.
A flashlight beam cut through the darkness, landing squarely on Dan as he watched from inside his tent. Startled, he instinctively stepped back, hoping to remain unseen. But it quickly dawned on him that displaying fear might be the worst choice.
Who's out here? Who's out here? Answer me, who is out here?
Gathering his courage, Dan shouted loudly, announcing his presence. To his relief, the figure vanished immediately into the dark forest. Yet Dan remained shaken, acutely aware that he was far from safe.
It's late. It's late now. I packed up everything, and I got it in my car. I was kind of just stalling to see if anybody else would come back by here. But I'm definitely going to make a stop at the ranger station before I leave, and let them know, like, hey, like, there's somebody, like, I found this, and there's somebody, like, creeping around people's campsites, like, do with that.
Unwilling to risk another encounter, Dan decided to pack up and leave, prioritizing his safety over any confrontation. Still haunted by the experience, he later reported the incident to forest rangers, hoping to warn others of the potential danger. Dan shared that he had never encountered anything like it before, and was deeply shaken by the realization that some people in the wilderness might not have peaceful intentions.